Hi, I'm Brian Rast with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers Kansas City District. I'm the lead Silver Jackets coordinator for Kansas and Missouri. Silver Jackets is our program that enables us to follow the state's lead in mitigating flood hazards. One effort I've been providing frequent technical assistance on is developing a floodplain management plan. These are plans under joint guidance in the FEMA Community Rating System Activity Number 510 and the Corps' Planning Guidance Letter Number 52. I advocate for these floodplain management plans to overcome several challenges. Flood risks are becoming more severe in many communities with climate change. Most notably, communities with large features like levees falsely feel they're fully protected and they don't pursue any other tools to help manage flood risks. In this video, I will answer basic questions and go over the process of floodplain management planning. Then, I will also show 3 essential elements to become a flood resilient community with one of these playbooks. Starting with the basics, one question everyone wants to know the answer to is, what is a floodplain management plan? The definition is a sustained effort that documents specific actions to reduce flood hazards. Another question, what's the process? The process for the Activity 510, Floodplain Management Planning, references Corps of Engineers guidance and follows the FEMA 10-step hazard mitigation planning process. So both agencies agree on the definition and the process. Why do it? The obvious reason is to reduce the risk of flood hazards. Number 2 is, what you'll find is a better relationship with your public and the community's government for addressing important flood hazard mitigation actions. The third reason, communities with levees often have a misconception that large features eliminate flood risks, dams, levees, channels. So a plan helps steer them to share the responsibility managing the risks with additional measures. A fourth reason, a plus with FEMA, is that the Community Rating System, Activity Number 510, and also other public involvement activities under the Community Rating System will reduce your flood insurance premiums. Number 5, my last one, with time, people come and go from government positions, and so a floodplain management plan can sustain a flood risk management effort as the community copes with many long-term initiatives. And here's another question. What else can be done to stop flood disasters? The answer is that a full menu of measures can help communities solve flood problems. The solutions to flood hazards can be described as features or activities. Features like dams, levees, and channels appear at the bottom right of this figure I'm showing. And the Corps of Engineers is well known for building them. While they can be built to reduce flood risks, they cannot eliminate it. A public misconception is that the features eliminates these risks, but that's not true. The public needs help understanding why combinations of measures are more important than any single feature. Here is a simple visualization of the planning process behind a floodplain management plan. The process begins with identifying risks, knowing where flooding occurs. Next step in the process evaluates the measures for some location in a community. Each location and group of property owners have their unique conditions. The full menu of flood risk management measures must be considered. Some of the measures are features that can be built, but some of them are activities that can be done over the long term, such as permitting or zoning, and often land regulation. Flood insurance by far is one of the best measures to address the risk. It actually transfers the risk and helps the public and the landowner to be resilient to flood disasters. Each measure should have an understood reason for why it is or is not good for the location. The next thing that is important is a decision history, which gives the elected officials the benefit of knowing why certain measures are better than others for the property owners along a location by the river. And the last item is a list of short-term and long-term actions that comes from those decisions that were made. The actions clarify who and what department, what funding source, and when certain actions will happen. The short term may be 12 to 18 months, and the long term is often several years as funding becomes available. Then the last two parts of developing the floodplain management plan would be the public engagement and how the effort is communicated, being sure measures are discussed and understood, and then the agreement on turning them into action items. And the last step, roles and responsibility. Naming who will be the champion of the plan is one part of that, but how you involve your floodplain managers and your emergency managers in the decision process and the prioritization of those actions is a large part of this step. Those roles and responsibilities must be identified as relates to specific departments. And for a floodplain management plan done on a regional basis, the partnering communities and the different agencies at the state level must be tied to this step. Those are the processes that must be done in floodplain management planning. Essential element number 1, the full menu of measures. This essential element of a floodplain management plan is about making sure everyone understands the full menu of measures. These measures must work together to reach the lowest possible risk. That requires increasingly collaborative work from individuals, from different departments in the community, and often with state agencies too. The stakeholders need to know that there is no silver bullet that eliminates flood risk. A portfolio of these measures is what is necessary. Essential element number 2, roles and responsibilities. Another essential element is a good understanding of the roles and responsibilities. Since flood risk management is a shared responsibility, that means that critical roles in the government must be involved. This includes at least 2 positions and their respective departments. Wherever the floodplain manager sits, and whoever the emergency manager is as well. And since communities vary in size and how they want to arrange these departments and roles, this is a piece in the floodplain management plan that is key. It's about communicating across these respective departments. To go along with that, the agencies that are supporting the community, whether it's a city or a county, must also understand what's going on at the local level and what their other state agencies are also doing. Local communities have many activities and features that they want to pursue, and a clear understanding of roles and responsibilities and who will pursue different actions will determine if the community can ever reach that lowest level of risk and become resilient. But this also includes individuals. The property owners, as individuals, share the responsibility of flood risk management with their community officials. They can do things at the property level that include understanding their flood risk, buying flood insurance, elevating critical utilities, and if necessary, evacuation. Essential element number 3, the action plan. Prioritizing work for geographic locations with historical flood impacts is an essential action. These playbooks are faulty if they do not take progressive steps toward known flood loss locations. So be sure to track repetitive lost properties or sites that were identified in the local hazard mitigation plan. These all combine to keep the community resilient. I hope that these talking points were helpful in understanding how to get a successful floodplain management plan started and made. I see it as a playbook for becoming resilient, and the Corps of Engineers Silver Jackets program offer technical assistance to get any community on the road to a good floodplain management plan. Contact me at the Kansas and Missouri Silver Jackets web pages if you need assistance. Thanks for your time.